Everybody, just gonna wait for a couple people to get on, and then we'll start. Hope everybody's having a good week.
You too.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see if anybody's.
Can you hear me?
You can.
All right. I'm smart enough to work the phone.
Hey, technology is hard sometimes. That's okay.
Yeah, I've only used Zoom like twice before in my life, and my wife helped me do that.
Wow, you got lucky.
Are you Mac?
I am Mac, and I'm doing good.
I am Jim.
Hey, hi guys.
Hello.
Hi.
So,
There's a few people still getting on, so I'm just gonna admit them, and then we can get started.
okay.
Hello, my name is Anuj.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to try and be super respectful of your guys' time and keep this short. So if you guys could just keep your questions until the end, that'll help me get through it. And then Darren can also answer questions in the chat. So if it's a simple one, you just want to type it out, he can answer that for you. But I figured I would just introduce myself first. If you coached last season, I probably don't look like Darren. I'm Mac. I am the new director of the Micros, Minis, and Rec 1 programs. So you and don't go there yet. You and I will be working very closely this season. If we've already been in touch, you've sent me an email. Hopefully, that was a good interaction. But I am making it my job, and it is my job to make your season super successful. So if there's something that you need or a question you have throughout the season, just don't be afraid to email me or get in contact with me. If it's something I can do for you, if it's something I can make happen, I will do that for you. So just wanted to start by introducing myself. This presentation is really just going to be the general rules, like procedures, things that you should know going into the season as the coach, so you can help your team be in the know and not be confused. So a little bit about Loudon Soccer. If you don't know, our mission statement is to create soccer players, coaches, and teams of strong character committed to achievement on the field and in the community. So part of our core values is 1, having fun, and 2, integrity, fairness, teamwork, and stewardship. So going into the season, I want us to have a mindset of we are prioritizing fun and giving kids an environment where they can just be themselves and do something that they enjoy, while also hopefully growing in character, learning things like integrity and fairness, working together, doing teamwork and stewardship. So I think if we all keep that in mind, we'll have a good season for our players. Let's get that one. So we're going to talk about just a little overview. We talked about Loudon Soccer a little bit. We're going to talk about the key contacts. Who should you contact with what? Who are your resources throughout the season? Key policies, communicating with your team, and then program formats and rules. So that's just kind of an overview of what to expect out of today. Zoom etiquette. I already kind of said this. If you keep your questions to the end, that would be awesome. Mute your mic. If there's a lot of noise coming around you, it'll come into the feed. So you don't want that. And then if you know somebody who isn't here or couldn't make it, just know our session is being recorded. So if they want that, tell them to email me. And if you would like it just to have as reference later, you can go ahead and email me and I can get it to you. So Loudon Soccer is a full service soccer organization. So not only do we have this program, but we have lots of other programs for players to be involved in. So if you have parents asking questions like, hey, what else is offered? there are other things that they can be a part of. There are supplemental programs like summer camps, winter clinics. There's a spring break program that's right around the corner. So if you are here for spring break, want to be a part of that, you can do that as well. And there's spring and fall seasons. So we are in the spring season right now, and then fall season will be coming. And I think late May is when registration opens for that. Here are all the supplemental programs that we offer. There's the Junior Development Program for kindergarten through second grade, the U7 Pre-Academy if your birthday is 2015. The U8 Academy is kind of the feeder program into our travel program. So if you have, maybe it's your kid or a parent on your team has a kid who's just really, really good, and they're like, hey, how can we get involved in travel and go that route? The Pre-Academy and Academy programs is what you should tell them to be, get involved in, that's the word. And then the Rec Technical Training Academies are offered, and then Rec All-Stars is offered. So if anybody's looking for something outside of the spring and fall seasons, those are kind of their options. As far as who to contact, I'm probably going to be your main contact. So if you have questions or you need something, you should come to me and I can try and help you the best I can. If you have a question that's not pertaining to the micros, minis, or rec run programs, if it's an older player, Karen Corp is our director for those programs. So she's going to be who you're going to want to get in contact to for that. And then Darren is someone you can also contact. But I would say for the most part, email me or call me and I can help you with that. And then if it's a field or facilities question specifically, like if you're like, hey, I requested so-and-so such and such field at this time because I'm coaching on the team and my schedules conflict, that's something that you should email Jamie about. You can go through me, but the most direct line of contact is going to be to contact Jamie because she does all of our schedules or fields. She schedules fields. I got a lot of emails about, hey, I'm new to coaching. What kind of resources do you have? This is going to be a really good resource for you. It's on our Loud Soccer page. And this tells you how to get here. So I'm not going to read it for you. You can kind of jot it down. But if you're looking for what are the rules, what are the policies, what are some session plan ideas, what are some activities I can do, you can find a lot of that here. And this is going to be really helpful for you if you are looking for, how can I be a better coach? What are some tips and tricks? This is where you can find that. I'm going to send out actual session plans for your practice sessions. I'm going to prioritize that because I know we have a lot of coaches who are new and not experienced. And I want to make your life as easy as possible. So, but if you're looking for just extra stuff and things you can throw in, this is going to be a good resource for you. You don't have to use the session plans, but if you want to, they're there. So our equipment pickup, if you guys don't know, Saturday is a big day. You're going to come pick up all your equipment that you need. And then there's also sessions you can come to. So just a breakdown, the Rec 1 sessions, 10 a.m. is going to be on the field. We're going to have like a layout session. We're going to kind of run through it with some players to show you kind of what a session looks like and what to expect and kind of mirror what you should do for your sessions. That way you guys kind of have an idea of what it looks like, especially if you've never done it before. And then right after at 11 a.m., you can pick up your equipment. If you can't come at 10 or 11, we're going to be here from 9 to 12. So you can come during that time. But because there's so many people, there's like, I don't know the number, but there's a lot of coaches. In order to kind of organize it and keep it sane, this is the way we're going to do it. So if you can come at 10 to the session and then 11 pick up, that would be awesome. And then Thursday, so the 24th from 7 to 8, there's going to be a Zoom call for top 10 coaching tips. So if you're new or you're just looking for, hey, how can I be a good coach this season? How can I be successful? That might be a good Zoom call for you to jump on, just so you can kind of get a little more information. And then that's all at Loud Soccer Park. So Saturday and Sunday at Loud Soccer Park. Yes. Okay, so then this next section is just gonna be general reminders for you. Team rosters, as you saw, they came out. They may change a little bit if there's someone who like emails me and says, hey, I got put on team that practice Wednesday, but I can't do Wednesday. if we can get him on team on that practice Thursday, we may move him. So just keep an eye out on that. You should be sending a welcome email to your parents. So if just keep an eye on that in case you got a new player on your team, maybe you can just send that again to them. That would be awesome. And then just as a general kind of rule of thumb, try not to promise or don't promise players a spot on your team, because while we'll do our best to accommodate and make it happen if it's possible, it may not be possible. So just if you have someone who wants to be on your team, whether it's someone who's in the program already on a different team or someone who's not registered, just direct them to me. Have them shoot me an email, and then if it's possible, I'll make it happen. If it's not, I will work with them on that. So just try not to promise people spots, because it may not be possible for some reason that's unknown to you. So team officials. So this is talking about coaches. Anybody who wants to be in a coaching role on your team needs to do the background check and safe sport training. So don't just let anybody onto your field as a coach being a trainer. We want to prioritize player safety, and a way to do that is to make sure everyone who's in a position of authority has been through that background check process. So if there's somebody who wants to be an assistant coach on your team, whether it's a parent or somebody else, just have them, again, email me or get registered officially through the through Safe Sport, not through Safe Sport, through the registration website, and then we can get them added officially. Same thing goes for if you, and I've got a lot of emails about if you're not going to be there for a week and you have a parent who steps up, just have them register. That way that they are in the system. But we want to avoid just anybody coming to practices. Quick overview of equipment. Each family is responsible for their own player's equipment, like their jersey, their ball, their shin guards. Yes, shin guards are mandatory. I got a couple emails about that too. Make sure players are wearing shin guards and their socks are over their shin guards. It's not sock and then shin guard, it's shin guard sock. And then if you want to, this would probably be good for you to do, look at the weather. And if you notice the weather is going to be really bad or really cold, so shoot an email to your team or through the app and like say, hey, dress appropriately, because you'd be surprised how many players come and it's like 30 degrees outside and they're wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and then they're so cold they can't do anything and it's not enjoyable. If you're capable of doing that, that's probably a good idea, because even these 13-year-olds on my team don't show up wearing appropriate clothing unless I tell them. So that's just a good tip and trick just to keep them in the know. And then plenty of water, hand sanitizer, and appropriate cleats. As far as cleats go, make sure that they're not football cleats or baseball cleats. They have an extra spike on the top, and that's dangerous in soccer. So just make sure that they're wearing soccer cleats. They don't need to be turf shoes. They just need to be cleats, nothing fancy, but just make sure it's the safe, approved cleat. And then that goes for girls. Just make sure they're not wearing jewelry on the field. Earrings, necklaces. If they're wearing earrings, you can't tape them over, you have to remove them. And then for casts, just make sure they're bandaged up. It'll be up to the referee's discretion, but most referees should be fine with casts as long as they're bubble wrapped. Bubble wrap is probably the most effective way to do that. We don't want players out there with a full-on weapon on their arm, just taking out players. I don't know, you guys probably should have gotten an email about this, but if you haven't heard, you're not in the know, we have a Dick's event from the 25th to the 28th of March, and you can go get a discount on equipment. So if you want a ball pump or you want an extra ball or your player needs cleats, this is probably a good time to go to Dick's and get them, because you'll get them at discounted rate. So just so you're in the know of that, might want to take advantage of that. Uniforms for Rec 1, players have to order them. So just make sure parents know that they're not given, because I know in kindergarten and below, you receive your jersey. So just make sure everybody has ordered their jersey. They should receive a red and white jersey, black shorts, and black socks. And then once they receive that, players should come wearing that. So just make sure no players are showing up wearing whatever. They should wear their jerseys, or else they're not going to be able to play in the game. And then at the end of the season, we're going to distribute participation medals. So just so you know now, I'll send out more information later about probably specific things, but you will need to, at your last session, go get them from probably a table where we will have them organized, but you need to go get them for your team so you can get them to your players. And then, not at the last session, at the spring Jamboree, we'll do that, which is June 4th. So on June 4th, instead of your regular session, there's going to be a big event, which will be really fun. So get your team excited for that. And then COVID, you can find all this information online. Just stay up to date. Things have changed a lot since we were in the thick of things. But if you want to go to the website and just refresh yourselves on what the current policies are, that'd be really great so that you can keep your team up to date. And then Safe Sport. I got a lot of emails about different certifications. Hey, this certification is not working. That's because you only need to do the Safe Sport training. So I think it's the SAPT, I think that's what it's called. You don't need to do that one, but make sure you've done the Safe Sport training because that one is required. If you're a new coach, it's 3 modules for 90 minutes. But if you're returning, you just have to do the refresher course. So it's pretty easy, straightforward. If you just, kind of sit there, dedicate a little bit of time to do it, it'll go through it. But make sure you do that because that's required before the season starts. And then safety rule, there's no heading permitted for U11 and younger. So that's 5th grade. So for all of you, players are not permitted to head the ball. It's just a safety reason. You don't want any concussions. So just make sure if a kid keeps, throwing their head in there, just tell them, hey, we're not going to do that. We're going to use our feet, and you try to encourage them to use their feet instead. Speaking of concussions, if you think a player on your team has gotten a concussion, there's more resources on the website about concussion policies, but in general, if you think someone's got a concussion, check them out. Don't let them keep playing, pull them off. And just like any other injury, ask them, does your head hurt? Like what's hurting? What's happening? What are your symptoms? If they feel fine, like it doesn't hurt at all, then they probably don't have a concussion. But if they're like, my head hurts, I'm nauseous, and you think they do have a concussion, just notify the club office or notify me so we can notify me via the designated form, and then your family will need to provide a return to play document for them to return. So there's just a little bit of a policy there for that because concussions are serious. Okay, so as far as communicating to your team, you're going to be your team's main contact. So for the most part, instead of emailing me, your parents are probably going to start emailing you or texting you through the app with their questions. If you can answer their questions, go ahead and answer it. That's awesome. That's great. If you don't know their answer, then you can either email me and ask, or you can just forward their email or whatever they did to me, and I can get in contact with them and work through their question with them. But because you're their primary form of contact, if you aren't giving them information, they're probably not getting it because I'm going to be going through you and they're going to be going through you both ways. So just be on top of like sending information that's important to them, like the welcome email. Make sure you send that to them. Introduce yourself. This is going to be your team, so kind of try and form some team morale. And then any other information, if I say, hey, make sure your teams know this, just make sure you're communicating with them. I would use your personal email. You can export all of the emails from the app and then just copy and paste them into your email and blind copy them. That's probably the most effective way to do it. Yeah, I would encourage you to do it that way. The Dix Team Manager app, this kind of goes hand in hand with your Sports Connect schedules and rosters. Everything will be there. If you have an older player with lawn soccer, they probably use TeamSnap. It's an app very similar to that. You'll just have all your information there. If we have to use a health check feature, that'll be used, but we don't have to use it right now. But just go ahead and download that so that you can communicate with your team. It's free. It'll be helpful this season. Okay, schedule. If you want to write this down so you know, I know there's been a little bit of confusion on what starts when. This is the correct dates. So just so you know, for grades 1 and 2, so Rec 1, you have 1 practice a week that you've decided, you've picked, you've requested, we've worked with you. If there's a problem, email me individually or email Jamie and we can work out for you. But you have 1 practice a week and then you have Saturday games. So that's 2 things a week. And then the practices begin March 28th. So that's the week before Saturday sessions, and then Saturday sessions start the 9th. Yeah, so practice begin before the first Saturday session. Just it's not the Saturday and then practice. Just make a note of that. And then the second week, so April 16th, we don't have any games. So just know there's a session, then there's no session, and then we have the rest of our sessions. So spring break, we have off. And then June 4th is the Jamboree. So that's the final day of the season. It'll be a big event. It'll be fun. Encourage your team to go and to be there. And then mid to late May, fall registration opens. So if you have a request you want, or you want to make sure that you're on a team, I would encourage your parents and yourself to register as soon as it opens in May. Don't wait, because then, things get more complicated. But just keep an eye out for all that. Here's what the Jamboree is going to look like. It's June 4th. The games are on turf at LSP, I'm pretty sure. Matchup versus other towns. So it's going to be a big event. You'll play other people. And this is where you'll give your medals out. So it's a big celebration to end the season, and it's always super fun. So just that's something just to look forward to. As far as weather goes, if there's a field closed for bad weather, you'll get notified from us. So don't assume that a field's closed or practice is closed. Please never cancel your session unless you've heard from us, because we won't, that'll just, be more complicated. So we'll notify you if a field's been, canceled. And it'll probably only get canceled if there's been like a lot of rain, the field's not playable, or there's lightning. So if it's raining outside, expect you'll probably still have your session, because we won't cancel just because of rain. Thunder or lightning, if your session's already it's already happening and there's thunder or lightning, our procedure's 30-minute delay. So you'll stop what you're doing, everyone will go to their cars, wait 30 minutes, and then come back. If it lightnings again within the 30 minutes, it starts over. And I think the most important thing with that is just make sure kids are actually in their cars. Don't let kids just like hang out outside. They want everyone to go to their cars, which shouldn't be a problem, because I feel like at this age, parents are still there. But just, make sure everyone's accounted for and with their parents in their cars. Yeah, and then again, we'll play as long as it's just raining and not lightning, and please don't cancel your games. Unless you've heard from us, we'll cancel them. Your schedules, so we're still working on the schedules for the Saturday sessions. They'll be published and available on your team page when that's posted. So be looking for that. And then just double check your details on a weekly basis, because there's a chance things will change. So don't just look at your first session and be like, oh, that's where I am the whole season, and then never look again, because there's a chance you may end up on a different field or at a different time, and then you won't be where you're supposed to be. Yeah. Okay, so for game schedules, if you're head coaching multiple teams, we'll deflect your schedule. So Sana, if you're not deconflicted, if there's a conflict, please email me, because we will fix that. But we will reschedule due to weather. The rain date will be June 11th. So if there's a cancellation on a Saturday session, we'll reschedule. The rain date's June 11th. Okay. So June 4th is the last day. If for some reason it gets canceled, we'll have another session June 11th for that. If you have a conflict, so I got a few questions about, hey, I'm not going to be at this session. What can I do? I would email all your parents on your team. You now have your roster, so send out an email, maybe even in your welcome email. Just include, hey, I'm not going to be there on this date. I need somebody's help covering this session. Here's what you need to do. Please let me know if you're available. Thanks. And then see what parents to get back to you. That's probably the best way to do that. For practices, what to expect, you should expect half a field. There are a lot of players registered this season. So it's not going to be the norm to have a full field. You may have one if something happens every once in a while. Maybe you'll have a full field and then take advantage of that for sure. But just expect to have a field, because we're working with very little space with the amount of players we have registered. And then you guys will lead all those sessions. So for your practice sessions, you guys are in charge. Session plans are going to be available for you to use. And just, honestly, back to the first slide, priorities fun. So I know there's a lot of coaches in here who are like, I don't have a lot of experience, and you're hesitant. Just know if you can follow the session plan and just make it fun and engaging for your players, they're going to have a good season. In this first and second grade group, there's not going to be any Olympians here. Okay, you're not coaching, the next Ronaldo right now. They're just out there to have fun and be with their friends and to have a good time. So just remember that, like, as long as you are providing an environment where that's, prioritized, then you are doing a good job, and that's all that's expected of you. And then just like management stuff, like, you're probably going to have a session right after you, or maybe you're having the session right before you. Try and end 5 minutes early, or do your, like, if you're talking with your team after your practice to kind of go over what you worked on, do that to the side, just so that the coach after you has time to set up before their practice, and kind of, we're just working together to make this all work and to be kind. So just know that there's probably going to be someone after you, and to give them kind of time to set up, try and end 5 minutes early. And then right now it's contact Jamie to reschedule. So she'll be your point of contact for that. Game day, what you should bring, the format of game day, rules, referees, and sportsmanship is all in this next section. So if you have questions about that, it's probably going to be answered. Equipment, what to bring, a first aid kit, ice packs in your first aid kit, a game ball, which at this age is a size 3, cones, extra jerseys, shin guards, your team roster, and then your rules document, just so you have it. So make sure you have that on hand, so that your session goes smoothly. Weather, again, don't cancel your Saturday games. Games may be suspended or abandoned due to weather or poor field conditions. The referee will call that. Again, same thing as the practice schedule, 30-minute wait for thunder and be in your car. Okay, pre-game info. So if you are the home team, and it'll say on your schedule, you should wear your red jersey. And if you're the away team, which you'll say on your schedule, you should wear your white jersey. Just make sure you communicate that with your parents so they know what jersey to bring. And then you guys should get there 20 minutes before kickoff, because your parents are probably not going to know what they're doing, to be honest. They're probably going to be very confused, especially the first few sessions. So if you're there before all of them, it makes it easier for you to help them figure out where to go and what to do. And then communicate with your parents. Players should be there 15 minutes before kickoff, just so you guys can all get together and be together, and you don't have, Tommy over there, not in the parking lot, right into the field 5 minutes into the game. So just to make sure your team is organized and together, I would say 15 minutes before kickoff is a good time to tell them. And then just wait for the team to leave the field before moving on to it, just so there's a good transition. When you're warming up, try not to use the goal area and penalty area, just so we can kind of preserve that grass and preserve the field. So try and find a space other than that. And then just for sportsmanship purposes, try and be kind to the referee and the coach, or be kind to the referee and your coach. Say hi, introduce yourself. We want to kind of have a cohesive environment and just work well together. This is how you should set up you and your spectators. Don't have your spectators on the same side of your team. You should be on one side and your spectators should be on the other. You can see it in the picture. Yeah, and then if you're coaching, don't go onto the other team side, just for sportsmanship and good interaction with each other. Try and stay on your half. And then again, we talked about, kind of core values. Fun is the priority. So just keep it encouraging. Try not to be a stickler for, a player who's having a hard time, or, maybe not your best player. Try and just be encouraging and positive to them so that they still have a good experience. They're just there to have fun. Like, kids just want to be there with their friends, having a good time. So keep it as positive and encouraging as possible. Yeah, don't go onto the field during the game. Try and, coach from your sideline, and then stay on your half. Things kind of we just talked about. The FIFA laws of the game change sometimes, so we followed those laws though. So if you just want to look them up, so you know what's what. Sorry, I'm adding people still. Here's the format you're going to play. So Rec 1 is 4v4. So you have 4 people on the field at a time for your team, and it's 10 quarters. So 2 halves and 2 quarters per half. So in between each quarter, you'll have a 1-2 minute break, and then in between each half, you'll have a 5 minute break. So quarter, 2 minute break, quarter, 5 minute break, quarter, 2 minute break. And and just make sure that players are getting equal playing time. Every player should play 50 minutes. This is not a league where you should have your best player playing the whole game and your worst player, riding the bench. That's not what it's about. It's about having fun and being out there, and just, having players do something that they enjoy. So kind of to break that down, what does it say? Don't have a player play all 3 quarters and then one player playing just one, essentially. Kind of even it out and get them to play equal playing time, and then make substitutions at quarter. So if you want, you can, kind of divide your players up into different groups and say in your head, don't tell them like your group A, your group B, your group C, but that this group goes for the first quarter and then this group goes second quarter and then so forth and so forth. Don't sub during play though. So Rec 1 has an 8-player roster. This is kind of what I just said. So organize into 2 groups of 4. So the group 1 plays the first and third quarters, and the group 2 plays second and fourth quarters. That was an easier way to explain it. If you happen to have fewer than 8 players, just reward players with additional playing time. If they had a really good positive attitude, or they were really kind to somebody, not necessarily for good quality soccer, but if they're doing something really good, you can give them extra playing time. And then if you have a team you're playing against who has less than 4 players, don't play 2v4. Work something out, give them some of your players. It's not about, this team or that team winning, but try and give, all players, playing time. And if that means, giving them 2 of your players so they can play 4v4, do that. They're still playing, they're still out there, they're still having a good time, and that's what matters. And it's unlikely that Rec 1 teams will have, weird numbers, but if it does happen, you can just even it out. Or if they only have, 5 players and they want an extra sub, then maybe offer to do 3v3. Just work with your other coach so that you guys can come to something that works for both of you. Don't have players just playing one position. You don't want, Tommy just playing striker the whole season because he's really fast, right? We want to kind of rotate people all around so they can kind of get an idea of what each position's like. Then when they go to travel, if that's what they want to do, they're kind of diversified and they don't, we want to open up people and expose them to all different positions and learn all different parts of the game. Restarts, all restarts are kicks, so there are no throw-ins, and then you can't score directly off of a restart. So you can't score off of a kick in or a kick off. Kickoffs can play in any direction, forward or back. In some leagues, they have to go forward. You can go either way. And then just make sure if you're the defending team, make sure to stay outside the center circle to give them time. Goal kicks, place the ball in front of the goal. Defending team must retreat to their half of the field. So you don't full field press. Make sure they drop back to allow them time to build out. And the corner kicks, make sure they're taken from the corner. There's no arc though, so it'll just be the corner of the field. Offsides are not enforced in 4v4. There's no goal kicks and there's no cherry pickers. So just try and keep players connected to the play. So if it's on your side, have players on your side. We want people engaged. And if you have one player way up top, then they're only going to receive the ball every so often. We want them involved in the play. Competitive balance rule. When a team is losing by 4 goals, they can add an extra player. And once the deficit is reduced by 3, the specific player is removed. So just keep that in mind. If you're really killing some team, take a player off. And if they kind of make their way up, you can, they can add a player. And if they start working their way up, have them take their player off. Safety, we already talked about no heading, but no slide tackling either. If you have a player that keeps throwing themselves onto the ground, kind of like pull them aside, be like, hey, we're not going to do that. And just try and encourage them in the way that you want them to play. Injuries, use ice packs, a first aid kit to treat minor injuries. If there is an injury, the referee will stop the play. You can come onto the field if they don't need to be subbed. and they don't need to be subbed. You don't have to have them come off, but make sure they're okay. And if they're not, then obviously have them come off. If it's a really serious injury, the parent would probably already come over, but just have their, if they're not, call them over so they can help their kid. Referees are not part of our club, and there's a huge referee shortage right now. So just make sure to be very nice to them. They are doing the best they can. Nobody is out there to sabotage your team. So just be nice to them. Introduce yourself before the game, and just try not to yell at them, especially in this age. It's not necessary. And some of them may be pretty young. I've had a few like 14-year-olds reffing my games, and they're doing the best they can. So just give them the benefit of the doubt if they make a call that you don't think is the right one. Here's what the referee kind of organization is. How they're organized. For grades 1 through 4, so for our program, you'll have one ref, which means you won't have a sideline ref. You'll just have a center ref. If a referee doesn't show, just play the game. You guys can coach. It's not a big deal if there's not a referee. You guys can be honest and have integrity and call the game fairly. That's okay. Kind of already talked about that. I like to say, even if they're not right, they're never wrong. So even if you don't think that the referee is making a right call, they are not wrong. So you just have to go with their call and play on. Like I said, just be nice to them. Okay. When we talk about our core values is having fun and growing in character, the best way for us to have our players grow in character is for us to show them the character that we want, them to have. Good integrity, teamwork. That starts with us, right? If we set the bar up here and we hold the crown over their head of who we think they can be as a player and as a person, they're going to rise to it. But if we set the bar down here, then they're going to, lower to that. They're going to meet whatever standard, whatever expectation you set. So let's just make sure we are being, what we want to see. We are showing them and modeling for them what we want them to do and what kind of place we want them to be. So we want them to have good teamwork and good sportsmanship. We have to have good teamwork and good sportsmanship. So just make sure that we are doing that for them. If there's a confrontation specifically, first of all, try not to get into confrontations. If there's a parent or a coach that's just kind of not being the best person or not being very kind, you can ignore it. If it's major enough, then just report it to either your lead at your field or to me, and we can take it from there. But try not to get involved, because then that just takes away from the kids. If we start a fight on the field, then they're not able to play their game and they have to watch, whatever's happening. So let's just keep that in mind. The kids are the priority and fun is the priority. And it's not fun when people are fighting. Post game, again, sportsmanship, say good game to their team, thank the referee for their time. Make sure that you're keeping your area clean. If you are leaving a bunch of water bottles, it's not ideal for the next team. So just make sure you take what you bring. And then snacks. Snacks are the best part of the season. It's one of your jobs as the head coach to organize the best snack schedule that has ever been organized in your life. And it's really easy, send out in your welcome letter. These are the sessions. These are Saturday games that we have. We need snacks. Who can do what session? And there should be enough. There are enough parents on your team for each parent just to take one. So that should be pretty simple. And then you can just keep it documented somewhere and remind them. But snacks are super important, so don't forget that. And then report any serious issues to me. Like I said at the beginning, it's my job, and I'm making it my job to make this a successful season for you and for your players. So if you have anything that you need or a question you have, or there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you sent me an email and I haven't responded to it in the last 48 hours, that's only because I've gotten so many emails. I'm working through them, and in the thick of the season, that won't be the case. So no, I will respond to you, and I will, if I can make it happen, if I can make it work, I will. So just keep that in mind in the season if you need anything. Speaking of resources, again, if you are looking for session plans or rules or policies, you have any questions or you want some different resources to use, those are the two places that can be found on our website. If you have anything you need, I'm your first support. Just email me at it's mac.brody@lawnsoccer.com. And then Darren, you can also contact if it's something that you need him to answer. That's his email. And then if it's a referee issue or something that referees, you can email Chris McKay. But for the most part, I think you'll probably be communicating with me about things this season. And then other than that, just good luck. I don't know what your expectations have been coming to the season. Maybe you have coached before and you are ready and you're excited. Maybe you have never coached before and you weren't even expecting to coach because you ended up coaching because your son or daughter was on the wait list and they couldn't get off the wait list because no one was volunteering. Whatever your expectation was coming into it, just know that it's going to be a good season and
didn't realize that I'm not talking to you.
and just be optimistic about what to expect. If you feel lost or confused and you want more support, again, just email me. But I think it's going to be a really good spring season. I hope you guys are excited about it. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because that's the end of the presentation. But if you guys have any questions, there's a bit of time left so we can answer them. If it's a specific question about like your team or something that's happened with your schedule, just reach out to me personally. I promise I'll respond. If I haven't responded yet, I'm working through them. But if it's a general question that maybe even somebody else might be wondering, go ahead and ask it and we can answer it here.
So for Saturday's session, if I can't make it at 10 a.m. for the coaches session, is that something that can be recorded and be made available? Because I already have a prior engagement and I won't be able to get there until probably 12.
Hi, Daddy.
The coaches session will not be recorded though.
Can some documentation be given like for what they're doing so that we can follow the same thing?
The Rec 1 session will be an in-game management. It won't be an actual session. So I have no clue. We will be watching a U8 Academy game. So obviously we have no idea what the players will do during the game and how the game will be coached. So that's pretty difficult. There is a presentation on Thursday evening where we will go over a couple of in-game scenarios for the coaches. So you can attend that. Information will be sent out on Thursday, and you can take a look at the coaches education page on our website where we have a ton of useful info for our coaches.
Okay, thank you.
So where can I pick up the jerseys?
Sorry, say that again. I missed that.
No, I was told that we need to use a specific jersey, right? Where can I get them actually? Can I buy it online somewhere, or what is the deal with that?
Yeah, go to loudonsoccer.com and under the rec tab, there is a uniform page.
Okay.
Where there's instructions on how to order your uniform. And just so everyone knows, I am Darren Patricia. I'm not just some random guy answering questions for Mac.
No, we can see Loud and Soccer on your name, so don't worry. and the background as well.
Hey, just a question about snacks. So I coached last season and some of the parents were asking to bring snacks for the whole team, not just for their child. And I discouraged that because of, there could be some allergies and that sort of thing. I'm just wondering what the official policy is on that.
Yeah, for the snack schedule, parents should bring them for the whole team. If there's a kid who has a specific allergy, hopefully they'll let you know because there's a snack schedule being made. And you can even ask in your welcome email when you mention snacks, hey, if there's anyone who has an allergy, let me know. And then you can tell your team what the allergy is and they can try and avoid that allergy. But yeah, as far as snack schedule goes, one parent per session should bring snacks for the team after the game.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Real quick question. With a four-player side, what are the positions on the field?
I would play a diamond. So you have one up top, one up back, and then two on the sides like that. But I wouldn't worry about positions too much. As long as players are getting involved in touching the ball, that's important. But yeah, I wouldn't play in a straight line. Like I would kind of, put one, in every area of the field.
So forward, defense, two wings.
Yes.
Rob, attend Saturday session, and you'll get a ton of great information from myself or Coach Royce.
Will do. Thanks.
Hey, just a quick question. Our schedule hasn't been updated yet, so I'm not sure like what day of the week our practice is going to be. Is that going to be updated soon?
For your weekday session?
Yeah, well, the calendar is empty right now, so I just wasn't sure if that's going to get updated at some point.
I think Darren, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The practice schedule should be out, yeah?
Yep. If you don't see anything, email Jamie Rawson, and she'll be able to assist you with it. She handles all the midweek practice schedules.
Yeah. If you have a question specifically about schedules, I would email Jamie because she knows more about that than me.
Got it. Is that good with the game schedule? Does that appear on the calendar as well?
Yeah, when the game schedule is posted, that will be in your account.
Perfect. Thank you.
What is the expected turnaround when we ask a question around scheduling?
Currently, there is a really, really high volume of emails. So Jamie's working really hard to answer them. So if you've already emailed and that's why you're asking and you haven't received an answer yet, just know Jamie is working on it. But during the season, when there's not such a high volume, you should receive one within 24, 48 hours.
And a follow-up to that, when our schedule does get uploaded, will it automatically transfer into Game Changer, or do we have to do something manually?
I believe it should be there.
Once you have it in, once you have your Game Changer in and running, and your team is in the system, it should upload itself. The only time it will not is if something gets canceled, then we need to reschedule a session or a game. But as long as we upload something, it should sync into your account as the team holder and into all the players' accounts as well.
Awesome, thank you.
And yeah, just so everybody knows, I like to, when I ran this meeting, I like to mention this. We have 7,000 recreational players, and 3,500 of those are in second grade and below. So obviously, it takes a lot of manpower and a lot of from our side, but also a lot of volunteers. So our staff is working as hard as they can right now. As you can imagine, with 3,500 people, we're getting inundated with different requests from you guys as coaches, and we want to do our best to fulfill those. But with more players, we did not get more allocation space or allocated more space from the county, right? So we're trying to work as hard as we can. So if you have something specific, like I'm not sure what your request was, Lyle, but if you have something specific about changing a time or a location or a day, I promise you, Jamie is working her butt off to try and make sure that request is fulfilled, because Loudon Soccer doesn't run without anybody on this call, right? So we need all of you, and we need to make you happy, and we want to make you happy. So she's working around it, and if she takes more than 72 hours, reach out to me, and I'll light a fire under her butt and get her moving a little bit as well if we need to.
Appreciate the hard work. Thanks, guys.
Got a question here. This is City here. Yes, the question is about the app and the Game Changer app, as well as the scheduling. And I see the practice schedule is already uploaded. I was wondering if that's going to be the same for the games, or do we have to manually upload it?
Yeah, it should just enter your app the same way that the practice schedule did.
Thank you.
Sorry, hopefully another quick question. And I might have missed this, but are the coaches, what are the coaches wearing? Are we getting jerseys as well, or?
Yep, you'll get a shirt on Saturday. All coaches will receive a shirt. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. I wasn't sure if I had to order it, but the website was really quick. I think that came in like 3 days. So.
Oh, good. That's awesome.
But
yeah, I think somebody else asked the question about the uniforms as well, right? So
Yes.
the way Capelli Sport works is they bring everything in from overseas, and they only keep a small number of items, whether it's stuff for coaches, just fan gear, or it's players' uniforms. Whatever they have in stock in New York obviously gets shipped a lot quicker. So if you're the right size, like Mike, and we can get it turned around, or they can get it turned around in 3 days, great. But if not, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, which is why the stated time is 3 to 4 weeks on their website. So yeah, if you need a uniform for your child, or anyone asks you, get the families to do it as quick as they can. And hopefully they have everything ready in stock in New York.
So, and apologies, he said it comes in 3 to 4 days, but I'm seeing it as 3 to 4 weeks. So
yep, Mike was just the right size, I guess, for something that they had in stock. So just get on the order as quick as you can. Like I said, everything comes shipped overseas. It gets printed overseas and comes in bulk. So that's why the shipping time is a little bit longer. So get on the order, and they'll do as good. They'll try and get it to you as quick as they can.
Okay. One more question I have is, what was the color of the shirt? You said white or red, or both?
You'll
for
get
players
both.
or coaches?
For players.
Yeah, players need a red and a white shirt.
Okay.
The home team wears red and the away team wears white.
Okay.
Any other questions before we end it?
Yeah, one quick question. You kind of answered it, but I just want to be clear. You guys are going to upload our schedules for practices and games, correct?
Yeah, when they're posted, they should just show up in your app if you've set your app up.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you won't have to manually input your schedule.
That's good.
All right. Well, if there isn't any other questions, I think that's all. And I just wanted to thank you guys for getting on. I know 7:30, 8:30 on a weekday night isn't sometimes ideal if you have kids running around with school tomorrow, but hopefully if you had questions, we answered them. And again, if you have any other questions, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know, because I want to help you. And I want this to be a good season for you and your players. So hopefully we communicate a lot this season, and I can't wait to see you guys all on the field. No, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited. So with that, yes.
Sorry, I just had to figure out how to get off mute. So I do have a question. I don't want to delay the end.
No,
Do you
you're
have
good.
just a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, thank you to you and Darren. I don't envy y'all's last week, so thanks for all your hard work. So 2 questions. One, what's the pitch size for Rec 1? And should we set up a practice field that's roughly that size?
Yeah, Darren, you want to answer that one?
All the fields will be marked for you. We hope to have everything lined and ready next week, but Parks and Rec does a lot of the lining because we utilize the school sites. But everybody that's been assigned to a field will have that field lined for at least
so the practice fields are lined
from
out.
2 weeks. Yep, game fields, practice fields, everything's lined out for you, and there'll be a set of goals on the field, which given the numbers, everybody will only receive 1 goal for training, so you'll have to share those. But yeah, everything will be lined for you and ready for you to go.
Right. And then the second question is about the Game Changer apps. I'm a new coach and would like to use the app for communicating availability for practice and games. When I go on the roster, there's a toggle to go to fans, and then I see looks like the parents essentially. Some are marked family of, which I'm assuming means they've registered with the app. Others say invite sent, which I'm assuming means they haven't registered with the app. So 2 questions. 1, is that accurate? And then 2, communicating in app, does that, it looks like there's maybe an option where it'll generate an email to their personal email account, which I assume is connected, or is there like a chat or messaging within the app and they get a email notification or just like a ding on the app?
Yep. So if it says waiting for whatever the pending or whatever it is, that just means that whoever the family member has sent that to has not accepted the invite yet. So as soon as they do, they'll get loaded into the account and they should be able to receive everything. Everybody's account in Game Changer should be linked in the same email address as is in Sports Connect, because of the single sign-in feature that they just took over. And then you're able to email through the app. You're able to have a team chat through the app. I believe you're able to have single family chats. Possibly you can add something in there if you just want to talk to one family member. But yeah, you can do, once you have the app uploaded and running, shut down your Sports Connect account and use Game Changer if it's easier to right at your fingertips. And I don't mean literally, but you know.
I do see. So like on the fans toggle, there's I'm just looking at one player. I see the mother, and it says family of that player's name. On the roster, if I click on that player and go to contacts, it's empty. So I'm wondering if, and there's a button to add family contacts. I'm wondering if, I mean, I can try it out and experiment with the team, but I don't know if that would prevent like the single player chat. Do you know?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Let me look in that.
Okay.
Look into that for you, and I'll try and get you an answer. But yeah, I think if there's fan listed next to it, I believe that's maybe like a grandparent. It's not just someone that's connected to the Sports Connect account.
The bottom line is, if there's parents on the fans where it says invite send, they have not registered. So if we want to communicate via app, I essentially need to encourage them to register.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you have any other questions or you think of anything later, just shoot me an email again, and I'll get back to you with your answer. But otherwise, have a great rest of your week, guys, and I can't wait to see you on the field. See ya.
Thank you. Thanks.